Hey guys, my name is Stephanie, and do not worry, I will not be wearing this Shawn Mendes hoodie or joggers the entire video. But guys, did you privately make assumptions about me based on my appearance? Do I look lazy because my hair isn't done? So how we present ourselves is an influential transmitter of unintentional messages. So what this means is what we wear and how we present ourselves is an open invitation to others, such as like the public, to make assumptions about us and our credibility just by what we wear. Did my hair being done and down make a difference? Me wearing a different outfit make a difference? So let's keep that in mind. So today I'm going to be discussing how your clothes and your physical appearance is a form of nonverbal communication, but especially in the workplace. I'll be going over 3 main points. The first point being is how physical appearance can influence the possibility of employment and how the interviewee's attractiveness plays a role in the decision-making process. So the next point I'll be covering is how physical appearance of a company conveys nonverbal messages to their consumers and how their brand identity might be affected. Lastly, the third point I'll be discussing is how perceptions based off of our looks can imply perceptions of credibility in the workplace and why what we wear matters. So first, we have to understand what nonverbal communication is. Nonverbal communication is the communication without spoken language. So if we're talking about verbal communication, we transfer information to people through language, through sign language, through spoken language, words, phrases. But when we communicate non-verbally, we transfer information through facial expressions, body language, eye contact, clothing, and more. Now we're at the hiring process, and physical appearance and how you groom yourself to interviews is a determining factor of who gets hired. The second you step foot into an interview, an impression is already being made about you, just by the way you're groomed and dressed. So how one dresses themselves is a subconscious influence that lets others make assumptions about you just by the way you physically carry yourself. Gomila Shahani-Denning is a professor of psychology and Hofstra's co-director of the MA program of Industrial and Organizational Psychology. She pronounces that a research examining physical attractiveness bias suggests that applicant attractiveness may influence the employment process, even for positions that are not considered high exposure positions. Denning's evidence also shows that the more attractive the individual is, the higher chance they have for getting that job. So now we're on to brand identity. Each service industry has its own specific type of attire in which they deem as workplace appropriate. By employing a dress code to enhance a service provider's physical appearance also exemplifies an organizational identity. For example, globally known brand Disney has a strict dress code policy, if you guys aren't aware of. Disney cast members, which is also another name for their employees, are famous for taking pride in upholding an appearance standard that conveys an attitude of excellence and friendliness. If you go over to the Disney Careers website, it states that the Disney look is a classic look that is a clean, natural, polished, and professional, and avoids cutting-edge trends or extreme styles. The third and last thing we're going to be going over is credibility and how clothing can make you seem more credible or even less credible based on what you wear in the workplace. To have a clear idea of how someone's perception of you can be based off of what you wear in the workplace, we're going to be watching a segment from Netflix's Queer Eye on how physical appearance can do just that, of paging Dr. E.
Lily's signature hairstyle is a high school side pony, usually topped with a bow.
People often underage me. They're like, oh, you're the doctor? The high ponytail probably doesn't help.
Lily's first day of work at her dream medical practice is in a few days. She wants to walk through her new office with her head held high. Come on, my love.
Okay.
So, John tells me that when you work at the hospital, sometimes the kids' parents don't know that you're the doctor.
Right.
You
Okay.
pull this out, you're like, it does the trick.
Yes.
It looks way younger than you are. This doesn't read, I'm a doctor.
Right.
I want to make sure that you are dressing according to the new job you have. That
Sure.
you are a doctor, and I want you
Right.
to feel very much like the doctor. I want Felicity to be able to walk into a patient's room and command the room just as it is. Like, you look super chic but cool also.
Right. And still approachable, which I think which is important
Yeah.
in pediatrics.
Yeah.
I can't get over. I just feel completely different. I don't want to put my old clothes back on now.
As you can see from this episode of Queer Eye, dressing for the part makes you look more credible and professional. In the article of the role of nonverbal communication in service encounters, points out that numerous businesses experimentally manipulated employee attire to determine the most effective style and manner of dress with respect to customers' perception of employee professionalism. As we saw in Queer Eye, and as we noted in our research findings, that we can determine the most effective styles in specific careers and with respect to customers in mind. So specific occupations such as professional female careers like Dr. E, they can wear black, gray, and navy blue to exemplify credibility and respect. Physical appearance in a workplace setting notably influences assumptions made about you by the public. And this is why promising candidates may dress to impress their possible future employers. Consequently, the physical appearance of employees has led brands and businesses to experiment on what specific attire may exemplify a unified organizational identity that their associates are proud to stand by. As can be seen exclusively in an occupational environment, nonverbal messages based on physical appearance and clothing can affect the possibility of employment, brand identity, and perceptions of credibility.